You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
Today is Friday, May 21st, 2021, and this is your daily Star Trek news from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. On today's show, LeVar Burton voices Tom Swift's AI sidekick, Barclay, in a possible Nancy Drew spinoff. George Takei and pianist Fabio Banegas collaborate on a new album combining poetry and classical piano, and I've got the answer to Tuesday's trivia question. I'm Alison Pitt, and today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month of counseling at betterhelp.com/DSTN. It seems guest hosting Jeopardy isn't the only television appearance Star Trek actor LeVar Burton has planned for this year. Last week, Burton debuted his latest television role, voicing an artificial intelligence named Barclay on the CW series Nancy Drew. Barclay appeared alongside literary character Tom Swift as part of a backdoor spin-off pilot for a proposed Tom Swift series from the CW and CBS studios. Deadline brought us the details on Burton's involvement with the project. Introduced in the Nancy Drew Season 2 episode The Celestial Visitor, Tom Swift and his AI companion Barclay are an attempt by the CW to test the potential for a new series based on the Swift character. Played by Tian Richards, Tom Swift is a black, gay, billionaire genius inventor who leaves a life of comfort for one of conspiracy and the unexplained following the disappearance of his father. The new show, based on the classic Tom Swift book series, would feature a modern take on the titular character's trusty sidekick, Bud Barclay. Voiced by Burton and known simply as Broccoli in the Nancy... Barclay. Voiced by Burton and known simply as Barclay in the Nancy Drew episode, Burton's character is an artificial intelligence designed by Swift at a young age, easily downloadable into different devices, and remaining at his side throughout his life as a friend and mentor. The proposed series, if picked up, would be produced by CBS Studios for the CW from Nancy Drew co-creators Stephanie Savage and Josh Schwartz of Fake Empire Productions. George Takei has brought his iconic deep baritone timbre to a new project by renowned classical pianist Fabio Banegas. As noted in a recent press release, Banegas' latest album, entitled Bottaroli Piano Works Complete Volume 2 Nocturnes, features the Star Trek actor as narrator for 5 piano replies, a group of tracks at the album's end that pair written poetry with instrumental piano. Argentinian composer José Antonio Bottaroli, a mentor of Banegas who died in 1990, had a deep fascination with the night sky and outer space. The pieces on this album paint beautiful vespertinal scenes, images of a dark evening and a starry sky. Have a little bit of a listen to one of the tracks.
Come here to the sight of so many luminous days. Come see the dawn. Is it not more beautiful? Perhaps. Come. This is me. Your skin is clean.
According to the press release, Choice collaborator George Takei enters, lending his iconic timbre to sincere, sage, and resonant narration. His legendary connection to Star Trek, a beloved franchise that intelligently promotes exploration, peace, and awe of the universe, makes him a fitting ambassador for these celestially inspired works. The story also tells how Takei and Banegas met while standing in line for an architectural tour of Chicago, beginning a friendship that has now become a collaboration. Bottaroli Piano Works Complete Volume 2 Nocturnes releases on May 28th through Grand Piano, a specialist piano label from classical music distributor Naxos, and is available today for pre-order from Amazon.com. I've got the answer to Tuesday's trivia in just a moment, but first, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online counseling service that matches you with a licensed professional therapist, someone who you can connect to in a way that suits you. Here's how it works. When you sign up for BetterHelp, you'll fill out a questionnaire that helps them match you with someone who specializes in providing the care you need. Depression and anxiety, relationships, and anger issues are just some of the things they can help you with. And of course, anything you share with your counselor is confidential. And it's convenient too. When I joined BetterHelp, I joined on the web, but I downloaded their app too, so I can message my counselor when it works for me. I want you to start living a happier life today. And as a daily Star Trek news listener, you can get 10% off your first month of counseling by visiting betterhelp.com/DSTN. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DSTN. And now it's the answer to this week's Trek Trivia. On Tuesday, I asked you, in the Star Trek Voyager episode Death Wish, Q held a trial to prove that another Q, Quinn, shouldn't be allowed to commit suicide because his life had changed history for the better. Q's witnesses included Commander William Riker from Star Trek The Next Generation, in Voyager's first TNG crossover episode. But why did Q call Riker as a witness in Quinn's asylum hearing? The answer? Although Quinn and Riker had never met, Quinn had known Riker's ancestor, Colonel Thaddeus Riker, during the United States Civil War on Earth. In 1864, Thaddeus was wounded in battle, and Quinn helped him back from the front lines, thereby saving his life and Star Trek history as we know it. Without Quinn, Thaddeus would have died, there would be no William T. Riker, the USS Enterprise NCC 1701D would not have had him as a first officer, and among other things, the Borg may have defeated and assimilated the human race in 2366. And if you want to find out what happened to Quinn, well, you'll just have to go and watch Star Trek. Lucky you. For more Trek trivia, tune in next Tuesday. Now, there's just one last thing before I go. Do not forget, please, we're still running that giveaway for 3 copies of the just-released Star Trek Lower Decks on Blu-ray. It's easy to enter, and the contest closes this coming Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. For more details on how you can enter, just visit dailystartreknews.com/Lower Decks. And to celebrate the release of Lower Decks on Blu-ray, I'll be doing a special happy hour live stream tomorrow night on the Daily Star Trek News YouTube channel at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. So far, I have no plans at all, except to maybe have a drink and talk about Star Trek. Join me, won't you? And if you have drink suggestions, let me know, but it has to be something that I've got in my cupboard. Anyway, that's it for today's Daily Star Trek News from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Don't forget to check out the other great shows on the network at podcasts.roddenberry.com. Daily Star Trek News is produced by me, Alison Pitt, and written by Chris Peterson and Jack Brown, with trivia by T. Rick Jones. Today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month of counseling at betterhelp.com/DSTN. I'm back on Monday with more of the Star Trek news you need to know. I'm Alison Pitt. Have a wonderful weekend, and live long and prosper.
Broccoli makes me nervous.
This is a Roddenberry podcast. For more great podcasts, visit podcast.roddenberry.com.